Now to our top story, and 3 of the mothers of kidnapped hostages being held by Hamas since the 7th of October attacks a month ago have told TalkTV in an exclusive interview of their anguish. Hadass Calderon, Renana Jacob and Bathsheba Yahalomi have 9 members of their families taken by the terrorists. Bathsheba, whose husband Ohad, along with their eldest son Eitan, is still missing, described the moment her 12-year-old was taken.
This was the last moment I saw Eitan, my son. His motorcycle continued to Gaza. Me and my 2 daughters, we managed to escape through the fields. We went 3.5 hours with pajamas, no shoes, no telephones. They took the phones. We don't know anything about Ohad and about Eitan, my son. I know Eitan is alone. He's only 12. No child should be alone without his mother.
Holding back tears, Renana, who wasn't at home at the time of the attack, recounts the last phone call she had with her son Yigal, who was taken with his 16-year-old brother Or.
The last thing I heard was my 12-year-old Yigal begging, saying, "Don't take me, I'm too young. You can't take me, I'm too young." He was repeating it a couple of times, and then the phone hung up and the line went off. And that was the last time I heard of them. As the chap said, we heard nothing since. We don't know anything of their whereabouts. We don't know whether they're alive. We don't know
for how long,
where they are, whether they're being taken care of. They're children. They're just children.
And Hadass Calderon's son and daughter Erez and Sahar are also still missing, along with 3 other family members taken from their kibbutz last month.
I want you to imagine, any mom in the world, to imagine for 1 minute, your child, your young little boy or girl, being kidnapped suddenly from their safe house with pajama from their bed. No shoes, no nothing, just kidnapped like that. Cruelly way, merciless way, cruelly way. Been holding like that when they helpless, terrified, confused.
Joining us now from Israel is Maayan Sherman, mother of Ron, a 19-year-old IDF soldier who has also been kidnapped by Hamas. Thank you so much for joining us. You must seriously empathise with those poor mothers whose young children have been kidnapped. Bad enough for you, of course, but there's, you're talking about virtual babies there. I mean, this sounds like a crass question, but try to sum up what it's like to be you now, knowing that your son is held captive by these awful monsters from Hamas somewhere beneath Gaza in one of these hellhole tunnels. What is life like for you?
It's not, I wouldn't call it life because, it's 1 month now and we don't leave, we don't eat, we don't sleep, we cannot do anything. Just, the thoughts are, are hunting us every minute of the day. My son is 19 and he was, I'm the luckiest of all of them because I have seen him in this video that the Hamas released just 5 hours. He was kidnapped. So I know he was kidnapped alive. And this keeps me, I still have hope that he's still alive. And so I see myself as the luckiest of them all because I don't think that there were many videos that the Hamas released of their hostages. And my son was texting me. And during the time he was kidnapped, he told me that he was being kidnapped. Actually, I didn't know if he was killed at the end of the texting or being kidnapped. But he told me that there are terrorists around, and he was very afraid. And he told us him. But when we saw this video after 4 or 5 hours, we felt, it's crazy to say, but we felt a relief. Because we knew that he was taken alive and uninjured. as you can see in this film. But it's the worst of your nightmares as a mother or as a parent. I think that you cannot even imagine what we are going through. Just think about it.
Yeah.
As Calderon said, just try to think about this scenario. It's the worst of all scenarios for us, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely unimaginable. Tell us about your son, Ron, and what you know of the events leading up to his capture. Do you know where he was? Do you know what he was doing?
Yeah, he was sleeping, and he was in near kibbutz Netiva Asara, which is on the border with the Gaza Strip. He heard it. He called us. The missile attack they didn't know what it was, because we are used to missile attacks in the south of Israel, and this is what they thought it was. And they ran to Migunit. It's a shelter. It's not exactly a shelter. And they went in there, and after a while, he was texting me all the time until he said, "Mom, there are terrorists all around us." I didn't believe him. He asked me what to do. And he is 19. I know him as a very self-confident young man. And suddenly he became a little boy, really. And it haunts me because I know that he asked for my help, and I couldn't help him. I didn't know what to say. I didn't believe him, actually. When he said it, I said, "It's no, Ron, come on. I watched TV. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't anywhere on the news." I said, "No, it's your imagination. Forget about it. Just calm down." And after maybe 5 or 6 minutes, I understood I made a mistake, because he said goodbye. I hear Arabic language outside the shelter, and he stopped texting us, "I love you all," and that's over. It's over, and that's all he wrote. And afterwards, there was silence. And just think about this. This moment for him. As a mother, I was in a shock. I really think that it was a kind of a shock, because I understood that terrorists took over my son. I didn't know what they did with him until I saw this video. But as I told you, when this video was released by the Hamas, I was relieved, because I knew that he was captured alive, and I really hope, I have the hope to see him again.
Maayan, the Prime Minister Netanyahu says that Israel has two missions. One is to destroy Hamas, and the other is, of course, to emancipate, to free the hostages. Do you have faith that he will achieve that? Do you have faith that the hostages will be released?
It depends when you ask me this question during the day. I can tell you now that I really feel that it's going to happen. And if you ask me this tomorrow morning, maybe I'll tell you another answer. It depends, we don't know what to think, because we really don't know what they're doing. We don't know anything. They don't share anything. We don't know what's going on with the negotiation, in Qatar and in Egypt. And every expert says something else, and we have trust in our government now. We're really in the IDF. We know that they will do anything in the world to bring them back, and we really hope that things are being done. But they don't share it with us, so it depends when you ask me this question. Right now, I can tell you that they may bring them back, but really, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. And think about it. It's like you gamble on your son's life. It's crazy, but it's exactly like this. I feel like sometimes I feel like 50% of I will see him alive, and sometimes I think maybe 80% chances I will see him alive, and it depends on the hour of the day.
Maayan, I really can't imagine what you're going through. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the programme with such
Maayan.
composure and such strength.
Thank you.
And how important it is to remind us in the Western world of what you are going through. Mothers in Israel, brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles, friends and neighbours who have witnessed some of the most appalling atrocities and have been missing family members now for a month.
Thank you very much.
Maayan, actually one last question. Back here in Britain, and indeed around the Western world, I don't know if you've been following events, but we've been having these massive pro-Palestinian marches snaking through our big cities, especially London. The sentiment is extremely anti-Israel. It's rather anti-British as well, even though these marches are, for the most part, British. I wonder what you felt about their proposal to march on Saturday, Armistice Day, because we have our Remembrance Weekend this weekend, of course. Saturday, a very sacred day, and they're planning to march pro-Palestine, and a lot of people who want to honour our fallen, our dead, feel that this is inappropriate, and that perhaps they're showing far too much support for Palestine when it's Israel who suffered. It's Israel's fault. I wonder what you felt about these pro-Palestinian marches, hundreds of thousands of them marching through our cities every weekend.
I think that you first of all, you have, I don't think that they know exactly what happened here. I really believe that these people, you know, it's not only against Israelis, it's against humanity, what happened here. Have you seen, you know, the Hamas terrorists filmed themselves, what they have done in the kibbutz around Gaza. They filmed it. And, you know, people who watched these films cannot stay, you know, everybody is, you know, it's the most horrible things that you can imagine. I don't think that even the ISIS did such terrible things to little children. And I don't want to say exactly what has been done, but if you are a human being, and it doesn't matter if you're an Arab, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Jewish, if you're a Christian, just look at these video if you have, you know, if you have the strength to look at it. And then I want you to go and protest for Palestine, for free Palestine. And again, we don't have anything against the Palestinian people. And it's very important for you to know, we have a lot against the Hamas terrorist organization. And it's not the same. It's not the same. I'm not sure that people understand that, you know, the Hamas is much worse than ISIS, much worse. They have done things that you cannot imagine that they have done to people, to little children, to families, to women, and they filmed everything themselves. So you can look for it and you can see it online if you want to. And afterwards, let's see if you can protest against Israel.
Yeah, strong words indeed. Well, look, thank you so much, Maayan Sherman, for joining us today. I really cannot imagine what you were going through.